Hello, I'm Professor Susan DeGise. This tutorial is on Practice 5.4a. Directions. Look for clues in the following examples and write what you think the time signature would be. Under the musical example, write the key. Okay, so I'm going to do number 1 for you. If you already feel comfortable, do all 3 on your own, pause the video, and press play when you're ready. If not, you can follow along while I do number 1 with you. So for these, you're not going to get to listen to the musical example till after we do our final answers. So if we look at number 1, we see these 3/8 notes are beamed together and then a quarter note plus an 1/8 note. So we know a quarter note plus an 1/8 note is also equal to 3/8 notes. If we look here, we see a dotted quarter and a dotted quarter. So this is a compound meter and there are 2 beats per measure. So that makes the top number 6. Now the division is 3/8 notes, so the bottom number is 8. For the key, we see there are 5 flats, which is the key of D flat major. So we're going to write D flat like this. Now let's go ahead and listen to this example, which is in 6/8. Go ahead and try numbers 2 and 3 on your own. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, number 2. If we look at the notes here, there's a dotted note here, but then the rest doesn't seem to make sense. The last 3 measures are pretty clear with the quarter, quarter, half, quarter, quarter, half. So there are 2 ways you can think of this. You can think of this as 4/4 or common time, or you can think of it as cut time or 2/2. So let's go ahead and just put common time, but other acceptable answers are going to be 4/4, cut time, or 2/2. So any of those would be correct for number 2. So let's look at the key. It has 4 sharps, so that key is E major. Now let's go ahead and listen to this example. Okay, and then for number 3, this one's a little tricky because we see a dotted quarter and then we see an 1/8 with the quarter. So at first glance, it looks like 2 beats per measure with the dotted quarter equaling a beat. However, that doesn't make sense here. It makes sense here, doesn't make sense here. Doesn't make sense here, doesn't make sense here, doesn't make sense here, doesn't make sense here. Well, actually, it makes sense in the last measure. But there are these other question marks, so there are more question marks. So we're going to rely on these measures to figure out the time signature, okay? Now, an easy way to do it is to look at this, something like this, where there's 3 quarter notes per measure. That simply means there are 3 beats per measure, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. So the time signature here would be 3/4, and it would be a simple meter. In what key is this? We have 5 sharps, so this is in the key of B major. Let's go ahead and listen to this and see if you could recognize it. So again, the best way to practice this is just when you're looking at your own music, look at the time signature and be aware of how music is beamed. A really good thing to do would be to listen to music and then try to guess the time signature. And you know, so many scores are available on IMSLP. You can then go ahead and check the time signature to see if you're correct. You've now completed the tutorial for Practice 5.4a. Thank you for watching.